Hi, I'm Carlos Gomez and I'm a professional travel photographer and also a tour guide based in the Dominican Republic. So today we will be talking about these two ultra wide angle lenses from Olympus ON system. First of all, a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't have any affiliation, no any sponsorship for any of the brands that we're going to be mentioning in this video. Every single piece of equipment that you see in this video was actually purchased with my own money, though you will find affiliate links in the description of this video below where you can purchase these pieces of equipment, and I will earn a small commission, though the final price that you will be paying for them will not be affected. All right, with that out of the way, let's go on and take a look at what we have here. So first of all, a little back of a story. When I established my photography business slash travel agency, I was on the search for an ultra wide angle lens. And my search was narrowed down to these two, given that I do have a thing for Olympus ON system lenses. And also because I needed something that was weather sealing and with a zoom, that was a zoom lens, which is something I believe that at this focal range is something that's needed. So the decision was pretty harsh for me. Actually, it took me a couple of months before I arrived to the final decision. And it was between these two great lenses. Actually, as a matter of fact, they're pretty good. The Olympus ON System 7-14 2.8 and also the Olympus ON System 8-25 f4.0. So at the beginning, I did purchase this 7-14, believing that actually with this one being a more expensive ultra wide angle, this could probably be a higher quality when it comes to images, but actually I was wrong. Also, I believe that with the wider aperture, it was way beneficial for me to have, and made more sense to have this one to complement my 12-100, which is a beast of a lens in all the sense of the word. And we're going to be talking about that one in another video as well. But after extensive use of this 7-14, I came to the conclusion that this lens wasn't really what I needed for my travel photography business. As a matter of fact, this 8-25 was a lifesaver. And I decided to purchase this like 1 year or so of using this one and realizing that this wasn't even my thing when it comes to the line of business that I chose. And I'm going to explain you why. Hopefully this video is something that will help you decide in case you're on the fence about which one of these two lenses to get. So first of all, let's go on and take a look at how they look physically. As you can see, these are both of the lenses with the hood on. One of the key differences is that this one, the 8-25, the lens hood can actually be removed, which will make it a lot smaller. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to the 7-14, the hood is actually installed in the lens and it cannot be removed. So I am not sure if this is something that's going to bother you. On the other hand, there is another very, very important difference that could affect your decision in getting one of these two lenses. And this was one of the things that actually helped me make the decision to get rid of this one, which at the end I didn't, and you will know why. And it is that this lens has an internal zoom, which is not bad for video if you're using a gimbal, I guess. But the problem with this one is that the round front element on this one comes out. So since I usually use two cameras and one of them is hanging around on my neck, I was afraid that I could one day break this front element, which I wasn't very amused on. Now, on the other hand, the 8-25 is very peculiar. So it seems to me that Olympus ON system, in order to make it smaller, they included a mechanism here to turn it on and turn it off. So without this, the lens is not going to work. So you will need to move it from this point all the way to the 8mm, and that's how you turn the lens on. And as you can see, the lens is going to extend, which is something that doesn't happen here with the 7-14. But the way this mechanism turns on is pretty simple. You do have to apply some pressure and then it clicks back into position, into a storage position. So in order to turn it on, you do have to apply pressure and then it's going to click back into the 8 millimeter position. And this is how it works. All right, so what do they have in common? First of all, both of them will come with this manual focus clutch ring, which some of you find it very useful. I don't use this that much. In some cases I do when I'm doing low light flash photography. Also, both of them will have this FN button here on the side, which is something that I often use. Another difference that they will have is on the weight. So the 8 to 25 is kind of smaller in size, especially when you take the lens hood off. But this is actually substantially heavier. The 7 to 14 is heavier. It is about 534 grams, while the 8 to 25 is 411 grams. So that is 124 grams more. And you know that when you're carrying gear, that makes a huge difference. Now let's go on and take a look at how they compare to this beast of a lens, which is the 12 to 100 millimeters f.40. So this one with the hood, of course, a lot bigger, but if we take the hood out, still a lot bigger. Very well. Now let's talk about image quality, which was also another reason why I decided to switch from the 7 to 14 to the 8 to 25. So in terms of image quality, they were pretty much identical. Of course, I need to give you another disclaimer as well. This is not a scientific test. We're not going to be pixel peeping or comparing one scientifically to the other. This is just my personal opinion. So when it comes to the center of the lens, both of them seem to be equally sharp. The problems, though, begin when you take a look at the photos on the edges of the frame. So the 8 to 25 is way more rectilinear, while the 7 to 14 produces a very unpleasant distortion. So for portraits, I don't think, or at least for the type of portraits that I usually take when it comes to travel photography, I don't think this is very useful because it makes people look like cartoonish. Though I did find a use for this distortion that I'm going to be talking to you later on about. All right, so at the end, I decided to purchase this one over image quality. The same in the center, in the middle, but this 8 to 25 is sharp corner to corner. I wasn't able to find any difference or any substantial difference that's worth mentioning. And it is extremely rectilinear. Of course, with this one, the 7 to 14 having 1 millimeter more, and when it comes to ultra wide angles, every single millimeter down counts. This is something that every photographer knows. This is a little wider, but I was willing to sacrifice that additional millimeter for this one being more rectilinear, which at the end, it's been a pleasure working with this lens. This lens, I mean, I've shot entire tours with this single lens for how versatile it is and also for the image quality it produces, which is superb. All right, so at the end of the day, what made me, because I had already this one listed on eBay to sell it out, and finally substituted for this one, which I've been using for about 6 months or so. So what made me keep this lens at last? So the other day, one of my customers contacted me, and they required me to, they gave me an assignment. They wanted me to make some birthday photography for their teen daughter. And I mistakenly put this one in my bag instead of this one. So when I was shooting, and I decided, okay, probably not a bad idea after looking at the dress of the teenager because it was very huge. to implement in this photography a little bit of the distortion that this lens makes, and it was an instant hit. So people really like this, the distortion on the dress, and how organic it felt, and this like this effect that the lens made. And right after that, I started a new photography business with this, which is portrait photography and event photography as well. So here are the key benefits and the key reasons to keep one lens over the other. So first of all, this one is going to be way better in low light situations. So if you do astrophotography or event photography, wedding photography, I think this one could be probably a better choice. Now, on the other hand, we do have this one, which is way more rectilinear. And if your photography is like mine, which is probably like 95, 99% with bright daylight, I don't think you're going to need the aperture of this one. So the versatility of this one, going all the way from ultra wide to almost portrait, 8 millimeters to 25, gives this one an edge on the type of photography that usually involves travel photography. So my conclusion about this is that if you work on, first of all, JPEGs straight out of the camera, and you want to do some travel photography, the 8-25 is the lens for you. But on the other hand, if you're more into artistic photography, let's say astrophotography and probably event photography, just such as weddings or parties, then go for the 7-14. So another reason why at the beginning I was more attracted to the 7-14 is since that this lens has been longer in the market. It is usually cheaper when you try to get it used than this one, than the 8-25. Now, if you try to purchase them new, this one is going to be like $400 more than this one, which is going to be a no-brainer if you don't need the additional stops when it comes to light gathering on these lenses. All right, this is it, and I really hope this video actually served you on making your decision. Thank you so much for watching this long. If you really want to support my work and you really like this video, please hit the like button and also the subscribe button. Until next time, bye.